What what is up, everybody? It's been a crazy little evening trying to get things done. I was a little bit late getting dinner started, and I think I got down here just in time. So welcome to T1E Adventures. Welcome to another episode of Beers Over Gear Talk, and happy Thursday, pre-Good Friday, which I think every Friday is a Good Friday, but tomorrow's the holiday. Hope everybody has some awesome plans and everything for the weekend. Hope everybody had a wonderful week so far. And yeah, so tonight we're going to talk about gravel events and races, gravel events, races, whatever you want to call them. We've got one literally a week from Saturday coming up called the Appalachian Journey. So I thought I'd go ahead and kind of piece some stuff together really quick. I was just going through my notes and realized I kind of half-assed that. So I apologize in advance, but I think we will still have a lot of fun during the live stream. Tonight I actually have a couple of beers that I will be cracking into, and I hope you guys have a beer as well in hand, or will be having a beer in hand, or hope you can. Hopefully you don't have to work tomorrow. I mean, I'm all for, like, let's celebrate some holidays. I don't care what holiday it is. Let's not have to go to work, right? So yeah. So gravel events and races, and you know, what are they about? Who should do those? Who should steer clear of them? All that kind of good stuff, and why you should do those over like a mountain bike race or a road race or something of that nature. Obviously, all this is my opinion. It is nothing really factual of any sort. You, as an individual, will have to figure out what it is that you like, and you know what you like about, as far as, like, if you want to do events, if you want to do races, if you want to do a race in an event style. It's a pretty common thing to do, but we'll dive into that shortly. I just want to make sure that sound and all that kind of good stuff is coming through. So let me see here. Pull up YouTube. Let's unmute it. Sound and all that kind of good stuff is coming. So yeah, sound is working. Sound is working good. Hopefully the video is looking good. Sound's coming through. Everything should be good. All right. Scrolling through here to find the windows that I need open. There we go. Yeah, so gravel events. As the months are starting to get a little bit warmer, especially here in the, I got called out on this in the Zwift forum, the Zwift group on Facebook. Like, really. But I had posted up a couple of things there, and they were like, don't forget there's a southern hemisphere, or, you know, spoiler alert, not the northern hemisphere is not the only folks around. But I don't make it down to the southern hemisphere very often, so a lot of the stuff that I do talk about is all geared around our seasons here in North Carolina, or in the US, and then specifically the Piedmont region of North Carolina, and then based off of where North Carolina is east, or north and south on the eastern seaboard. So we have, it's, you know, kind of, we're really in a really damp time right now, so a lot of our mountain bike trails and things like that are kind of shut down and stuff. So we often try to dive into other areas of cycling, whether it be road or gravel, to kind of compensate. We shut our trails down locally until they kind of somewhat dry out for the most part, just to keep from having to rework them, damage to the trail, and even, I mean, to some extent, even damage to the ecosystem that's around that trail. So we resort to Saturday rides that are on pavement, or you know, like we got Salem Lake. I've got videos that you can see of Salem Lake. Salem Lake is actually a little 7-mile gravel loop around a lake just a couple miles away from the house, which is kind of cool to get in the dirt but not be on single track. And then we do have a handful of rake and ride trails that you could ride without worry of being shut down. If they're wet, they're wet. If they're muddy, they're muddy. If the roots are slick, good luck. But we're lucky enough to have all different kind of terrains and things like that. Events for gravel cycling kind of like bridge the difference between road riding and the mountain bike riding races and things like that. A lot of the events are set up for folks who are really super competitive, as well as people who just want to go experience, you know, a fun gravel ride. And the one coming up, the Appalachian Journey, the Tour de Dirt, Mountaineer, the Humble Journey, a lot of those are geared around folks that really just want to get out and ride their bikes on gravel roads. Gravel is very appealing just from the standpoint of not having so much traffic or anything crazy, cars whipping by you, or a single track trail where you got trees that you're whipping past and could hit. It's a little, I don't know, it's just easier to deal with from a stress level, from a stress standpoint. So yeah, I think it's super nice and like stress free. These events are typically, and once again, I'm speaking from my experience, and I do know that there's some events that are probably put together that aren't the greatest in the world, but the ones that I've been lucky enough to attend, that you know, some friends up in Virginia put together, or I think it was 2018 when I went up to Vermont and did Rasputitsa. These events, like Rasputitsa, is like one huge weekend party, and it's a lot of fun. And then they kind of segregate the racers from the folks who just want to ride, and let them duke it out in the front, and then you come in behind them and just ride the ride. I know there's and the Appalachian Journey and Tour de Dirt also had stops where you the local distilleries have like little like half pours, half shots, quarter shots of some of their stuff that you can sample, and then later on swing by one of their facilities, their breweries, their locations, and pick up, you know, some whiskey or some bourbon or some whatever, you know, as far as trying to remember what we had up in the Rasputitsa race. It was like bourbon and bacon, and then I think they had like some type of pastry that you can get, and then at the same time it was like throw a cheap water bottle out and pick up one of the Rasputitsa logoed ones out and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun. So events are just like freaking awesome, I think. You know, you meet new people, you meet friends that you met at the previous ones or before that. So it's kind of like a gathering of old and new, and it's a lot of fun. And I definitely encourage everybody to go experience a gravel event of some sort at some time. So I know I've mentioned something like, who are they for? Well, they're for you. They're for anybody who is actually watching this video right now, whether it's live or later on in a replay. You should go out and try a gravel event. I mean, like, you should. Hold on a second. All right. Not the beer that we're going to be talking about later. Just a beer to get me through the first part of this. So yeah, gravel events and races. I have yet to participate in one of these events as a race, but this year Greg over at Pedal Vision and myself will be attempting the middle tier 70-mile ride at a brisk pace. So we'll see. I've been training for the last couple of months with Trainer Road, and hopefully have some endurance, have some fitness, and then be able to lay down a little bit of power to keep up with Greg mostly. But yeah, we're going to kind of tackle this with a little bit of a race mindset, so to say. Going to go hard, but don't worry, we'll have the cameras. They'll be rolling and we'll have a video of the whole weekend probably. So that one's got some really great sponsors: I9, Hand Up, Chamois Butter. I think Dewey's I think it's Dewey Brewing or something like that. There's a brewery that's kind of sponsoring it as well. But yeah, let's just why not? Let's pull it up and see who all the sponsors are. But it's definitely, like, if you're ever in the Piedmont area, or I guess it's actually the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Appalachian Mountains of Southwest Virginia, not West Virginia, but Southwestern Virginia. It's one of the best events that you can go to. It's well orchestrated, well supported. It's just absolutely, it's a delight. It's wonderful. So yeah, let me pull up the website so you can check it out. And they're not sponsoring this or asking me to do this. So Gordon, Emmy, if you're watching this, hopefully you're okay with me sharing a lot of information about your upcoming event. Let's see, browser. Oh, there's nothing there. One second, I know it's black, but there we go. Alright, so Appalachian Journey. I mean, yeah, this is kind of the setting that you'll be in. Just it's so beautiful up there. This year, next Saturday, not this Saturday, but the next, there's your options for mileage. And there's actually one more option that's actually it's the transverse, I think is what they're calling it. It's 140 miles or something crazy like that. So knuckleheads will be doing it, I'm sure. But yeah, like the AppalachianJourney.com is the website. Here's a list: Black Bibs, Maxxis Tires, Squirt. Like there's a lot of really cool sponsors for this. So hopefully you can check it out. Definitely highly recommend it. But so we can go back to, oh wait, did it not show up? None of that showed up, did it? I thought it did. Or did I just close it out and then it went black? No, you saw it all, didn't you? You saw it. Hopefully you saw it. Hopefully. Alright, so back to me. Sorry, you gotta stare at me for a little while. But so gravel events. I've been to a couple mountain bike races and mountain bike events and things like that. I've not been to any road events, whether it's road racing, road endurance racing, TTs, triathlons that have biking and things like that, or even crit races. Never really been to those. I've seen videos. I've watched the stuff on YouTube, and I kind of get a vibe of it's more competitive than it is anything else. Not knocking the whole concept of having those type of events, but at the same time, I just think that gravel events are just so much more inviting and inclusive for the most part. Once again, the ones that I've been to, I know that there are probably some out there that aren't quite as inviting or anything like that, but we're not going to name names. We're just going to sip on beer and be happy about a lot of things. But this will be, like I said, the first one that we'll be racing. The few that I've been to, and I say the few, I've probably been to a good 6-7 different events. All of them on the East Coast, the majority of them in Virginia. And I will say that the events that I've been to have always been well orchestrated. They have plenty at all the rest stops, the aid stations, and they have, even for someone who's plant-based as far as the diets and stuff like that, they have a good selection of items that you can get. Definitely always packed full of water and some form of carb rocket or some form of carbohydrate type sports drink that you can get. So it's and they're typically, like, I'm trying to remember, I think the majority of them are typically spaced out between 20 and 30 miles, depending on the route, and then not just the route, but also to the course that you chose. So if you choose a 35-mile route as your course of choice, and your fitness level is, that's where you're at. I know I got a couple of friends that we're actually going to be camping out with at the Appalachian Journey. That's the route they chose, was the 35-mile. I think there's like 2 aid stations within the 35 miles that you're able to stop at. For the 70-mile, I want to say that there's 3 different aid stations, with one of them being a repeat. So you crisscross it, going one direction early and then the other direction later on in the ride. So there's always somewhere to like stop and refuel and, you know, load your bike back down with some like Sour Patch Kids or some form of gummy worms or something like that. So that seems to be like the end thing to have with you, is some form of sour candy of some sort. I typically like to pack my own stuff, like, I don't know, fig bars, dates. Was doing the SIS goos, or whatever you want to call them, the high sugary packs, but they're expensive, and they seem to want to ferment on you after a while of storage. So you kind of have to like get them and use them within a month or so, or else I'm wondering if I'm getting like a little bit of a alcohol intake while I'm riding the bike when those things start to swell up a little bit. Who knows? I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but the taste gets a little weird too. So if you're on the live stream watching now, if you're watching this in a replay, what events have you done? Comment, drop it in the chat, comment below. If you're watching this on the replay, what events have you done, and what did you like about them? What did you not like about them? You know, what intrigues you, or what do you find intriguing about gravel rides? Do you find them the same way that I do, more intriguing or more interesting or more appealing than, say, road racing or a road ride? I've done, event-wise, I've done a lot of road century rides. I've done a couple of metric century rides. I'm trying to think of how many I've done now. I've done quite a few all over North Carolina, Western North Carolina. So I still find that, you know, the gravel just seems to bring folks more like-minded to me, that I just enjoy more so than anything else. So that's why I kind of lean toward the gravel bike, gravel cycling and stuff like that. So it is time, I guess. I know this looks so cheesy drinking out of like the standard beer mug, but this is Modelo. Tonight for dinner we had a white bean and what was it? White bean and onion and something chili relleno. So made it really quick. Ate the majority of it before I come down here really quick, and now I'm like wishing I was back upstairs eating the rest of it. But it was really good. So Modelo with a little bit of lime. But we're going to switch over to a beer that probably has some accolades. Let's see. This is going to be an American light lager, and I don't really have like some proper glassware that I probably should drink this stuff out of or anything like that, but I saw a nice cool tall Pilsner looking glass, so I figured I'd just pour this American light lager in it and try to look all, I don't know, fancy or something like that. So this beer is from a brewery in a neighboring town, High Point, North Carolina. The brewery is called Brown Truck Brewing, and this is an American light lager. Let's see if we can get it to focus in. There we go. So it's going to be, I mean, it's getting close to summertime. It's spring. We want like light beers. We don't want to be drinking those heavy stouts and porters and quadruple IPAs and all that kind of stuff right now. So I went with something a little bit light and refreshing, and I know this one is it's really, really, really good. So look at that. Wow, nice color to it. Yum. Beer. Beer. Wow. It's beautiful. Beer is such a good thing. And I do have another one stashed away around the corner here that a little later we will tap into. Brown Truck Brewing, like I said, is in High Point, and we have actually done a couple of bicycle rides out of Greensboro into High Point and stopped at Brown Truck, and then also kind of out of Winston-Salem where I live. We've also ridden that way. We have yet to stop there, but I do want to do with the Winston guys. I'd love to do a little road touring ride to Brown Truck Brewery. Let me see if I can pull it up. Brown Truck Brewery. And yes, it's going to prompt me to say, are you 21 years old or not? There it is right there. So yeah, Brown Truck, fairly new brewery compared. It was second in High Point to Liberty Steakhouse, Liberty Steakhouse and Brewery. They've changed their name a couple of times, but they just literally months before the pandemic hit had shut their doors, and Brown Truck became at that time the only brewery in High Point. Soon afterwards, or a few years afterwards, a couple years afterwards, so 2018 is when they, or 2018, that's when they won the silver on their dry hop saison. But oh look, see, this is what we're drinking right here, the Gold American Light Lager. So I guess they got very small brewery of the year gold is what they got with this beer, but it's supposed to be a really good beer, and I'll let you know here in a second when I drink it how good it is. But Brown Truck opened up, and then shortly after, a few years after, Paddled South had opened up as well. So I think High Point is only sitting on like a couple of breweries. They do have a winery downtown as well, but believe it or not, from either Greensboro or Winston, if you're coming from Winston, it's going to be road. If you're coming from Greensboro, you can actually hit a greenway that takes you really, like, I do recommend a gravel bike for it, but can get you pretty close to these breweries alongside a couple of restaurants, pizzeria, and a handful of other things. So, but yeah, Brown Truck, it's let's just dive into it and see how it tastes. I'll tell you how good it is. I know I've had this numerous times before, but it's been a little while. But here, cheers. So number 10 is what they call this right here, and it definitely fits this whole crisp, light, crushable. It is. Ooh, it's got a good flavor to it. Highly recommend that. If you can get it in your area, do it. If not, come visit us. Hit me up. We'll go for a ride somewhere, and you can find this in some of the local grocery stores around us, or you can just like literally go to the brewery. It's not far. It's like almost central of the Triad area here in the Greensboro, High Point, Winston-Salem area. Alrighty, so let's get back to gravel events, gravel races. And I know I've just kind of rambled through a lot of this. I again apologize for not having my notes as well as I wanted, but like I said, have you done gravel events that you absolutely love? And if so, comment below which ones that you've done. What are they? Are they good? Why did you like them? I know that some of these events that do take place later on in the year, closer to fall, Tour de Dirt, I love the chili. Like, after the ride, the chili was the best thing that I can remember about that ride. Now, hindsight 2020 and then doing a video on it, I do remember there's a lot of great things about that whole ride, from a scenic standpoint, from the challenge itself, and then the people we got to ride with and stuff like that. So there's a lot to be said about just your experience as a whole in these type of events. But the chili was really, really good. I instead of going straight to get the chili and the free beer, I actually went straight to the cabin that we were staying at and got a shower, then headed to get the chili, took beer with me, and luckily I did that because the free beer was out. They had no more. The keg was floating in a bucket or a tub of ice water. But like, I don't know, I just can't really say any more, like, speak more positive about the people that I have met and the new friendships that I have over the last 2.5 years, just traveling to these gravel events, gravel races. Like I said before, I've done all these gravel races as events. I haven't done anything race-wise, so it's going to be fun for us to figure out the dynamic of trying to race it a little bit. Do we stop at every stop? Do we blaze past all the stops? Do we just stop when we need to refill with water and things like that? But it's the people. I can't tell you, like, you know, we head up there. There's a guy that we met named Tony. Actually, Greg introduced me to Tony. He's known Tony for a little while. He's a roaster of some coffee in the Floyd area. Wonderful guy, superb photographer. If you follow any of the Cycling Floyd or Floyd Facebook pages, the Appalachian Journey and all their other races and things like that, you have seen Tony's photography float around. It is hands up some of the best photography you've ever seen. He is able to capture the Floyd County vibe, the essence of what Floyd is, in every single picture that he takes of that area. It's awesome. But yeah, the people that you meet, I think the friendships that you walk away from. I'm a social butterfly, so I like the ability to meet new people, to experience the area with people, both who have done it and then those who have not done it, because the few folks that I've taken in that area, taken up to that area and ridden, have been in awe of the scenery, the beauty. And that's one thing about gravel rides, gravel events. A lot of them you're going to be traveling to, so getting to an area that you've never really ridden before or you don't frequent very often, I think you're going to experience the awesomeness of that area, and something that you wouldn't get, or you've done a lot of times if you're local to a lot of good gravel and things like that, so many times that you've kind of, you know, you just like, oh yeah, that's the mountain that I always pass. Going to somewhere else, like for us, Floyd is an hour and a half, 2 hours away. Going somewhere else and experiencing their terrain, the terrain in that area, is something that we don't have around us. Just, you know, it's going to make it hard to race, because I'm going to want to look at the scenery. I'm going to want to look at the mountains, the meadows, the pastures, the everything, the woods, even, you know, just I'm going to want to stop and look at it all. And it's going to be tough racing it, knowing that I just kind of want to do that. I don't know, but so you watching the stream or catching this on the replay, video on demand, what events have you attended, and what 1, 2, 3 events have you attended that you think are the best events that you've ever been to? List them down below. Let me know what they are. I'd love, if they're close enough, if it's possible, if it's feasible, I'd love to go check them out. And with that, what kind of bucket list events do you have? I mean, I know everybody kind of has a handful of events that everybody wants to go do. Unbound, rock cobbler, the Belgian waffle. Pick a region that the Belgian waffle does their rides, and everybody wants to kind of do those. I'd love to go do Unbound. I'd love to do the 200 miler of Unbound. Am I capable of doing that? I don't think I am right now, but I could do the 100 mile. So those are kind of like some of the things that are on my list to do. What do you have on your gravel bucket list? Gravel bucket list. It's a heavy bucket that you have to carry around if it's a gravel bucket, right? You know, there's some really, really good ones out there, but also too, I'm partial to the local ones. What local ones do you have that you rave about, that you think are some of the best that other people should experience? And if it means driving 4, 5, 6 hours to go do, list those down. Let me know what those are. Maybe somebody, maybe me, would love to come up and check those out. We did Raspatizza, I mentioned that one earlier. That's a 14-hour drive. Like that was an event that I can't remember how many days I took off to go do it, but we drove straight there. Well, I shouldn't say we drove straight there. We drove straight to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. From there, the next day, we drove 3 hours to Vermont, spent the weekend there, and then drove back to Portsmouth, and then came all the way back to the Triad area. And then my buddy Lee ended up going from the Triad area 3 more hours all the way over to Asheville. So that was like road trip, you know, like, but what do you have local that you think everybody should come and check out? Or what do you have local that's so good that you would not prefer people to come and check out and keep it like low key and all that kind of good stuff? Yeah, there's always that option as well too. So all right, 30 minutes into the live stream, 32 minutes into the live stream, and continuing to ramble on like I normally do. And I'm thinking it's time to crack open beer number 2 from another local brewery. This one, I've had Wise Man on the show before, and we got Wise Man beer here again. This one is called Tropical Shirts. It is a Berliner Weiss style, or a Berliner style beer, sour. It's got blackberries, raspberries, and if you're not a big fruit beer fan, you probably won't like this one, or a sour beer fan, but it's tasty. It's got a nice color to it too. Kind of matches the lighting behind me with a pinkish hue. You'll see that right about now. Wah, wah, wah. Maybe? Come on. It's not going to grab it and focus. Why not? There it is. So look at that color. Man. So. This one is super tart, super tangy. It is a sour. If you don't like sours, if you don't like that kind of stuff, it'll definitely make you pucker up. It's really, really good. Super, super good. So, I mean, super, super good. Alright, so we've beat the gravel events and cycling. Like, I wished I would have put those together a little bit better than I did. I apologize for that, but hopefully. What's up, Alex? Alex. So Alex just asked a question. Hey man, what's your favorite 20 to 40 mile loop in the NC Piedmont area? Looking for some single day trips. So Piedmont, North Carolina area, gravel or a little bit of mixed. There's not much that we can go hit up from our area, say from the Triad, and riding bikes out of it. If you want to go travel something fairly short, Greensboro, like an hour away is Uwharrie. You can do the area that's for their off-road trails and things like that. You can get probably a good 25 miles of just strictly gravel, kind of pull out of it and hit some paved roads and some other gravel roads in that area. You could do 100 miles out there if you wanted to, of probably a good 50-50 split of gravel and pavement. You know, as far as like gravel in the area itself, greenways are going to be your better bet. Salem Lake, doing loops around it, a 7-mile loop, it's gravel. If you want, once again, if you don't mind traveling, Floyd is only an hour and a half away. Wilson Creek is 3 hours away. So this area, gravel wise, not really much unless you're willing to hop in the car and kind of just like drive a little bit. So yeah, that's that. I don't really know anything else, but like, you know, 20-40 mile loops, if you're willing to drive an hour, you definitely can get that. Uwharrie, Umstead, if you wanted to head out to the Raleigh area, gets a little confusing out there. I definitely would recommend finding a map of some sort or some GPS, some ride with GPS data of some sort that you can like load into a Garmin or be able to print off turn by turns and stuff like that. It's weird. It's a small, like compared to everything else, it's a small chunk of land that's like literally right next to the airport, but yet it's so confusing to navigate that whole area. And there's some really good mountain bike trails out that way as well, though. I will say that Umstead has, I think, a little bit of a lot of fun stuff that you can do in that area. Yeah, the Uwharrie is probably going to be the best bet, and Salem Lake. Salem Lake's kind of boring though. If you want to do 20 to 40 miles, Salem Lake is definitely not the it's going to be boring. So hopefully that, Alex, I hope that answers, somewhat kind of answers. I know I'm like trying to get this whole the little pop-up of your chat and kind of blew it up really big over my face and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully that kind of maybe sort of answered the question of what you want. I do wish that there was more around here. I'm trying to think outside of Umstead, outside of just driving to Floyd, Wilson Creek, Uwharrie is kind of the south area of us. That's pretty much so all the gravel that we can have in our area. There are, I want to say Kerry Warner had a route, and I'll have to track that one down, has a route that goes northwest of Winston-Salem that had quite a bit of gravel in it, and I'm not familiar with the areas that he was going up into, but that'd be another one that'd be kind of cool. It's a good question. That's good. I'm gonna have to compile a website of some of our local gravel kind of stuff. I think that'd be kind of cool to have. But yeah, so I don't know what more to talk about when it comes to gravel events, gravel races, other than it's definitely something you need to do. So if you're watching this, find one, and don't be intimidated by it. Gravel events and races, and you know, if you're not in the racing itself, go do a race at your pace. The only thing that I would say about that is if they do have time checkpoints, then you do run the risk of getting left behind without any type of aid station and stuff like that if you're not going fast enough. But A lot of our events that we have around here, at least, are not necessarily, they give you plenty of time to ride the event as a ride, not a race, and get to all the checkpoints that are needed to be gotten to. So yeah, I think it's definitely definitely one way to experience an event or a race and enjoy it. Do it at your own pace, but I would say go do it. Don't sit back and just kind of worry about it. Just go do it. It's nothing different than doing a ride locally with your club, out of your house, whatever. You're going to pack clothes to stay warm. You're going to pack food to make it work, and you're going to try to plot out gas station stops to make sure you get a Red Bull and a pack of peanuts. The kind of cool thing is they've kind of done that portion of it for you. So all you got to do is show up with a little bit of food, ride, hit an aid station, fuel up, and keep going. So yeah, definitely say do it. If you're watching this and questioning it at all, just go do it. Just go do it. And I haven't looked in a while. I think that there were a few more spots still open for the Appalachian Journey. If you're in a drivable area of Floyd, Virginia, sign up for the event. 35 mile, 70 mile, 100 mile, and then the 140 mile. They start this out of the Floyd Family Campground, and they offer, I want to say they offer a discount rate if you call them and tell them that you're coming for the event, for camping and things like that. I'm pretty sure all the cabins are already booked up. They don't have that many of them. So, but yeah, go check out an event. Check out AppalachianJourney.com. Check out the website. They've got all their events that they normally do plotted out on there already for the most part as far as the timing for this year. I want to say like the first weekend in November is when they're going to be doing the Mountaineer, which is another phenomenal party. It's a little different than the Appalachian Journey. Appalachian Journey, I didn't even mention this before, but the Appalachian Journey is like a duo / partner / race. You enter it in with another person, and you guys stick together or try to stick together the best you can and cross the finish line at the same time. So you kind of rely on each other. The Mountaineer is a little bit more inclusive to the folks who enjoy event rides than they are the racing itself. And they did it, I can't remember the name of the space that they did it at. It's something at Eagle Landing, Wilderness at Eagle Landing or something like that. The place was phenomenal. Cabin, we stayed in the cabin. They have campgrounds for tents. They have campground for RVs. They had a huge bonfire with a nice concert. They have a place that serves food there on site and beer. So it was like pretty inclusive and was just awesome. So that's another really good one. So the Appalachian Mountaineer, it's in the fall. It was a little chilly when we did it, and the one time we did it, we did have to cross a river. It's a good 40 feet, 50 feet maybe wide, but no more than waist deep. But that was a lot of fun. That's one. I wish it and the Tour de Dirt weren't so close together, because it makes it hard to do both of them, and both are very well put together and executed events, and I recommend either one or both. Maybe this year I'll do both, who knows. So yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. So 45 minutes of me rambling on about beer and gravel events. So tomorrow we're going to be doing a little bit of gravel. I'm going to take my favorite bike I have, which is the, at the time, Y Cycles, now it's Rebel, R Plus, titanium frame, I9 wheels, 48C tires that measure out to 51 millimeters wide, to Salem Lake to do loops, and probably take the camera. Maybe I'll have some video, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do some short videos or something like that. But it's nice to have a place to go hit some gravel to get the feel of it and enjoy the dirt. And there's actually some single track around there too that you can tackle with the gravel bikes, which is a lot of fun. So that's why I highly recommend a gravel bike. If you're watching this and you don't even have a gravel bike, what are you waiting for? I mean, like now, do it. Like, go see Watts at Revolution. Oh, sorry, Revolution Cycles. Go see him and get yourself a gravel bike, because you know, gravel's where it's at. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Don't have any more. Like this video if you're watching this on the replay. If you're watching it live, go ahead and like it again. If you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Let's do that. And I also have channel membership that sometimes will get you early access to videos beforehand. And as I start building up a live stream community, I may start dropping some early, like pre or only members only, that's what we're going to call it, the members only live streams that we sit back and just chit chat about beer, whatever kind of things. May even on some of the member stuff rope in some Discord so that we all get to talk about it, things like that. So talk, not just chat talk. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And you know, maybe soon I'll catch you out there on the trail, the road, the gravel road, at a gravel event. Who knows? But yeah, everybody be safe out there, and be nice, be kind, and we'll definitely catch you on the next adventure. Cheers, guys and gals, guys and gals, gals and guys.